This is my first time setting up a Berkey water filter system. I'm going to be doing fluoride filters, black filters, the tap, the whole thing. So let me show you step by step how to do this if you're first time round as well. I have wanted one of these for years because I've wanted to be able to easily filter out the contaminants, especially the fluoride from my tap water, and just be as self-sufficient as I can, even though I'm still living in a city setting. So let's get into it. Here are the entire contents of what I got in this box. We've got the 2 canisters for the water. It did actually come like that. So you've got the upper tank inside the lower tank. So that can be packed away and the lid can just slot on top. It came with a tap. They come standard with a plastic tap. You can upgrade to a stainless steel one if you wish. I've got full instructions there for how to set it up. I have the black filters which come with it. So these are the ones that get rid of the chlorine and regular contaminants from the water. They came in this box here. There's 2 wing nuts and a priming tool. We'll use that in a minute. I also got the fluoride filters. These are additional. You don't have to do them, but for me, this is exactly what I was looking for. So they came in this plastic packet. So I know it was sealed. I opened it. And they also came with the priming tool and some step-by-step instructions. The first thing that I actually want to do is just give all of this a wash in warm soapy water. Next, we're going to fit the top knob to the lid. So there'll just be a little screw underneath that you can just unscrew. Once you get it going, you'll be able to do it with your finger. So you just want to put the screw through, screw the knob on. Knob for the lid done. Now it's time to flush the black filters. So we just need to take this washer off the top and we're going to add the priming tool. You just want to make sure that that is flush with the top bit there. And then we'll get the tap going a little bit. You don't want it too much because water will spray everywhere. Now we want to create a seal with the tap and the priming tool. So you know you've got it right when the water is starting to seep on the outside of the filter like that. So you just want to hold it in place until the whole filter is beading on the outside. And that way you know that the water is going through the inside of the filter and flushing out all of the microparticles. And then we need to go do the same thing again with the second black filter. And then you just want to gently wash the outside of the filters just to get rid of any dust particles. Next, we are going to install the tap. I just got a plastic one with my kit. You can upgrade to a stainless steel one if you wish. So I'm just going to take this plastic nut off the end. And then there are 2 washers. So we just want to take one of those off. So we'll leave one washer on the tap end, put it through the hole, and then we will add the other washer on the inside. And then we will screw the plastic nut on the inside as well. And that is the tap installed, really easy. So now we just need to put the black filters into the top chamber. They're going to go through these holes. The filter will sit in the top bit. So we just want to put that rubber onto the bottom of the black filter, and then that will go into the hole. And then we're going to put the wing nut on the other side. I don't want to over tighten this. And then we'll do the same with the second one. So that is what it will look like on the inside. Now for the fluoride filters, we need to clean the outside with some warm soapy water. And then we're going to take these blue washers out of the ends. Priming the fluoride filters is pretty similar to the black ones, except we're going to get the water flowing through out the other end instead of beading on the outside. So you're going to put your priming tool on top of one end of the filter, get the tap going a little bit, hold it up to the tap, and you want the water to be coming out the other end of the filter. All right, I can see there is some water coming out through the filter now. Also a lot going around the side, but we want to keep flushing it until the water coming out of the other end of the filter is clear. And then what you need to do is flip the filter over and do the same thing but from the other side. To test whether your fluoride filter it still needs more priming, just collect some of the water that's coming through it, hold it up to the light. If it's still a bit murky like this one is, keep going. The fluoride filters are flushed. I'm not going to lie, they did take me a while. I wanted to keep checking and making sure that the water was clear before calling it a success. So I have sat the upper chamber on top of 2 glass jars because I wanted to do the red dye test. But I thought I'd just put some water in first and check that these filters are working. So as you can see, only one has water dripping through it, the other one doesn't. So that means that I haven't primed it enough. So I'm going to go back and prime these black filters again just to push any leftover air bubbles out. After priming the black filters a second time, and I feel like I did a much better job this time, you can see that the water is actually coming through really easily now. So I think the black ones are ready to go. I just want to do the red dye test. Now I am going to pour some water in the top with red dye in it, and these black filters, if they are working correctly, will filter out all of the red dye. We'll check back in a few minutes just to get a better picture of what's going on. So I can see the next issue here. This one here has a little bit of red dye in it. This one's completely clear. So I was just looking up the top at where the water is coming out. The water is just coming out of the middle of the filter for that side. But on this side, it is dripping from the filter itself plus around the seal. So it's the water from around the seal that is letting some of that red dye through, which means I just need to tighten that filter up slightly more and we should be good. Okay, I've just tightened that filter. Honestly, I'm so paranoid about over tightening because they just tell you everywhere, do not over tighten. So I'm not even surprised, but let's add some more red dye water. I can see that the water in both jars is clear, which is amazing. So now I'm going to tip out this red water, add my fluoride filters back on, set it up, and we'll do a few flush throughs before actually drinking the water. So with the fluoride filter, you want to make sure that this arrow is pointing away from the chamber. The water is just going to come out of the hole at the end here. So 8 turns of this on the thread is plenty. I'm now going to do 3 flush throughs of the entire top tank. So I'll fill the top tank, let it filter down to the bottom, and then I'm going to tip it out. I'll do that 3 times. And then after that, I'll take some water out of the tap and see how it is, see if it's looking nice and clear, and it should be ready to drink. So you know what's interesting? I thought I bought a Treble Berkey because I bought this brand new in the box off eBay and they didn't actually specify which Berkey it was. I'm pretty sure they listed that it was the 5-litre one, which is the Treble Berkey. But I just put 8 1-litre jugs of water in there. So now I know that I definitely have the Big Berkey. I've just noticed another issue. The tap is leaking, so I'm going to have to tip it all out and tighten the nut inside there. Apparently this is quite common on first setup, so we shall get that sorted right now. Actually tightened the nut for the tap once and it was still leaking, so I just couldn't get my fingers tight enough around that plastic nut in there to do it up. So what I did was I just put on a rubber glove so that I could get grip on that plastic nut. So I tightened it up again and now filled it with water and it's looking all good. I think we're finally tight enough there. I just hit another little snag with the tap. I was turning this all the way around 360 degrees and nothing was happening. No water was coming out. So I just sort of pulled the unit towards me and jiggled it a bit. And now it's working. So something just wasn't engaging. But if you have a problem with your tap, just try that. I've decided to store my Berkey inside this storage cupboard in my kitchen. It has ventilation down the bottom, so I think it should be all right. So I've just got it in there on a table so we can easily go fill up our things at the tap. The reason I've done this is because I want to keep my benches clear, and I also have an ant problem. So I feel like if I leave my Berkey on the bench, the ants will get to it. They've already gotten into a kettle before, so I'm hoping that this will deter them. If not, I can always put a tray down underneath the legs with some water or oil in it and create a moat so that they can't get up to it, but let's hope I don't have to do that. All right, it has done its 3 flush outs. This is the 4th lot of water that's gone through it. So let's pour some out and see how it is. The water looks pretty clear to me. I'm just going to give it a taste, make sure it tastes all good, and that is it. That is the Berkey setup complete.